Hi, this is Steve Hingtgen from Vintage Trailer Supply. A lot of people call us and asking about caulks and sealants and what's the difference between them. We do sell quite a few, and I wanted to walk through some of the major ones and kind of just give you a comparison and what we feel are some of the best uses and probably inappropriate uses for some of the sealants. I'm going to start right off with our most popular and kind of the go-to sealant, which is called TrimPro 635. This is a high-grade polyurethane sealant. What it does is basically everything. This particular polyurethane sealant has been formulated especially for transportation. It has a really good shear strength on it. A lot of people who've been doing travel trailers, especially Airstreams, for years know about the name Vulcum. Vulcum, as it's known, is pretty much gone now due to the VOC contents in it. And so with the new VOC requirements, TrimPro, who made Vulcum, is now making this as its basically its successor. So TrimPro 635 is your go-to for almost anything. I guess the only disadvantage to TrimPro 635 is that it comes out of a caulking tube, and therefore we also have available these big syringes. They're kind of silly, but they actually work very well. You just fill this thing up half full, and then use this to apply it rather than this, and you'll get a nice easy bead, much easier to clean up. You know, whatever you put down, you always have to tool it a little bit to get it to set into the seam correctly. And you want to put on the finest bead you can because you don't want to end up lifting about 80% of it back off when you're tooling. It's just a waste of product and it makes your cleanup much harder. So a very thin bead to start with, and this helps you with that. For some people, the caulking tube is an experience they don't want to deal with. A lot of people prefer a product called Parbond. And Parbond is another one of these sealants that's been around for decades. Parbond comes in an aluminum color, a white, and a clear. This is a nice product to put in like your toolkit if you just want to have something on the road also, because it's so convenient. The last one that we've been selling for a long time and that people have come to really love is called Gutter Seal. The roofing folks and the gutter people have been using this to, seal those fine seams in gutters, and it really works. Really nice product in a convenient squeeze tube. There are some places for the use of silicone on a travel trailer. Silicone is in its own category of sealants. It's difficult to remove once it's in place. It doesn't have great shear resistance, meaning if it's getting cut or pulled sideways, it can tear, and it's not paintable in some formats. We sell a clear silicone for use in a couple applications. It's a good thing to use to bed glass, and it also works well with some plastics where a polyurethane may not hold. It has its place. It's not a general purpose sealant for travel trailers, but it has its place. You may have been left with a mess of silicone in the past from a previous owner in places it didn't belong, and you might start to resent it for that reason. We do have a product we like to make sure people know about, which is a silicone caulk remover. It does a good job of softening the silicone and making it easier to remove if you've got silicone in places it doesn't belong. And then finally, our newest addition to our caulk line is not really a caulk at all. It's a liquid sealant, and it's about as thick as water. Has a great name. It's Captain Tolly's Creeping Crack Cure, and it comes out of the marine world. It has a very small dropper, as you can see, and what you do is you use this when you can't find your leaks. It's a mystery leak sealer, and you've got, for instance, on the top of a window, maybe there's some water going in down there, but you really can't figure out why it's going in there. You would basically put this in there, and it goes on thin, and it hardens up, and you put it on in successive layers. Unlike a caulk where you try to put a cap of the caulk across the problem area. This one, you let this drip down inside so it fills in the gap. It fills the seam from the bottom up. And it's amazing. It really does work. And our professional customers recommended that we start carrying this, and so we found it to become increasingly popular. And it's incredibly easy to use. So that's a nice benefit of it also. These are all caulks. That's what you would use in most cases, but there are a few cases where a tape is actually a better type of a sealant, and I want to show you two that we carry here. This is an incredibly popular product we sell, which is a putty tape. You will know when you put this down that you have a consistent thickness of the sealant. So with this type of a tape, you can guarantee a very consistent sealant behind the part you're putting in. You can put it too wide, you can butt the seams together. It works great. It has its place, and you'll need this if you're doing major work on your trailer. And then finally, more of a specialty product. This is a butyl tape. This is a glazing tape, so when you're bedding a new piece of glass into a frame, you will want a good seal between the glass and the aluminum frame. And that's where this can come in handy. Ask our folks here if you are not sure whether this is appropriate for you, because it's not used on all windows, but for the windows where it is used, it works extremely well. So these are some of the caulk sealants tapes that we sell, and we think we have pretty much something for everyone, but if you see you have an application that's specific that maybe we haven't covered, give us a call, because we'd like to be able to make sure we have in our store the products you need to keep the water out of your trailer.